Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our sponsors. You're all listed in our program. Gary and Yuka Reichel, Chung Moon Lee, Ruth and Ken Wilcox, Jack and Susie Wadsworth, Thierry Porte, Jean and Hing Wong. We really cannot do it without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your support and for your leadership and for always being there for us. For our second honoree, here to present her award, please welcome our very own board member, Vinita Gupta.
I am, can you hear me well? I'm delighted to be standing here to honor Padmasree Warrior, whose accomplishments have truly awed me. And we are two ladies of similar generation. She is more agile and younger than me. So I think I want to address Game Changer Award of Asia Society. It is given to celebrate and honor people who have impacted, left a deeper impact on us in some way, and they continue to do so in case of Padma, if I may call you. So here, like many of us, she also started her life in a humble way. She started it in a small way, but she worked hard at it, very, very hard, but she imagined big. And she consequently spanned through a number of careers, as you will, as they unfold this evening. She has been an inspiration to the women all across the globe. She has been a role model for women, which sounds like an ordinary thing that many accomplished women might do, but she went deeper than that. She was running powerful companies, and she was on the board of powerful companies. As a result of that, she looked at the picture in a different way, turned the mirror around, and she was a proponent of not just diversity and inclusion, but how the corporations make women feel once they get in the door. And that is truly remarkable. I haven't heard anybody, but she has been in that position, but it was her deeper thinking. That is the impact that I'm talking about. Today, she's running a startup, which she started late in her professional career. But she is doing something which is more meaningful to her, which is a mobile app, which is going to address, through reading, the mental health of human beings, women and men. So it is a courageous step because nobody has experimented with that. And startups are always an experiment. Then I look at her career, and she spent bulk of her career building herself up to be what she is today, which was at Motorola, starting with an engineer. If it was a man, they would have said, oh, he was just an engineer, but she's a woman of her 40 years back that she graduated, and she is truly amazing in just the beginning, but more importantly, she rose through the ranks and became the CTO at Motorola, and you will see some of the awards she has won, and she has won a lot of awards, so I'm not going to try to enumerate them. And then she went into Cisco, Silicon Valley, where it's a fast-moving space, and I'm very well familiar with Cisco and networking space, and this was the aftermath of dot-com bust. Cisco is one of the companies which survived that aftermath of dot-com, and she re-navigated their path while she was there, canceled the project, or recommended that they cancel the project. So she was impactful in every way of the word, in whichever the true meaning of the word. And the last then she dared to enter is to run a Chinese Tesla company in the United States, NIO, and during her tenure, the company went public on New York Stock Exchange. What I want to really emphasize is that she changed the game in everything that she addressed. That is why she is the most deserving candidate for the Game Changer Award of Asia Society, I would say. She changed the game from India to US, from corporate America to startup, from America to China, and China back to India, and now she continues to perform and do amazing things.
Thank you, Vinita, for that very kind introduction, and thank you, the Asia Society, for this recognition. I'm indeed very humbled, and it's a great honor to be here along with my fellow recipients this evening. I think being Asian and being an Asian American woman who's technical in the corporate world has been quite a journey. Of course, Asians and Asian Americans have contributed to the global society in many different ways, from art all the way to leading edge technology. Yet, our cultures, and therefore we as individuals, are seen by many as different, weird, and sometimes even mysterious from the Western world perspective, which brings an additional challenge and complexity to each of us with the question of, do we abandon our heritage and origin in order to fit in to the Western world? Or do we remain authentic to who we truly are and build a bridge into different cultures? I think many in this room have chosen the latter path, to build a bridge across different cultures. And I feel the world more and more needs more of us to be doing that, especially today, when people tend to talk more about differences rather than similarities between our cultures around the world. And that's kind of what I have done. I grew up in India in a small town to a middle-class family. I grew up with very severe asthma, as was mentioned in the video, and had to be homeschooled for a year. And I feel like that experience actually gave me the resilience and taught me how to overcome difficulties and simplify complexities and synthesize things that we need to work on into what are the 3 things that would make a difference. My latest company, I left the corporate world to start a company about 4 years ago. It's called Fable. I hope all of you download it. It's an app on your iOS or Android device. The reason I went to do a startup after being at Cisco for a number of years as the Chief Technology and Strategy Officer was because I got interested in mental wellness. It's now a growing global crisis. It's being called the second pandemic. All of us go through anxiety and stress, no matter where we are, what age we are, what income level we have, where we live. But what's really interesting is reading just for 30 minutes a day, according to a paper from Yale, extends our lifespan by 2 years. So if you're not a reader, download Fable and read any book you like for 30 minutes a day. We now have over 700,000 users. Actually, many of them are young readers, so we're very proud of that. I think to Kangji's point earlier, we call ourselves a tech company with the soul of an artist. So we really want to bring great design, great artistic capabilities into storytelling and use technology to make reading simple. That's our way of building the bridge between art and technology. Probably many in this room can stand up here and talk about how do we build bridges across cultures. But in my experience, I've learned that few things help us do that. First thing is to know ourselves, know our own biases, our own attitudes, our own likes and dislikes, and acknowledge that we all have some bias before we judge others for their bias. I think for me, that's a very important thing. The second thing is to learn about different cultures and where people come from. Actually, these days, it's really easy. Internet makes it really easy for us to learn about any culture around the world. And ChatGPT makes it even easier. So that's, I think, now these resources are available for us. And the third is actually being an active listener and assume good intent when someone says something, understand what they're saying, listen to their body language. And lastly, empathy, putting ourselves in a different culture's perspective. I think these kinds of things have helped me work for a US company, work for a Chinese company, and now do my own startup. I feel very lucky, and I am very fortunate. I feel like to be living in Silicon Valley, which is a melting point of different cultures. And it's a great honor to be here and see many old friends in the audience as well. Thank you so much.